Welcome back, everybody. We are going to continue our conversation on husbands, children, and life.
Yes. I love that. We had an off-screen discussion, and Ms. Carmen, you said something that was so powerful that look, I struggle with this every day. That your husband was teaching you how to be a wife and you were not receiving it. My God, did the Spirit of the Lord, why you want to leave my business? I see him every day and I'm like, I know how to be a wife. You know, I know what I want. And I'm like, this is the way you're supposed to treat me and this is the way you're supposed to treat me. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it is. Selfish, because I get selfish sometimes. And you said something so powerful. Can you hit on that just a little bit more?
One of the things that I learned as being married to Derek is that my mom, and I love my mother because she really showed me how to be strong and how to deal with life and deal with kids. Because my mom, she really did everything on her own. So my mom couldn't show me nothing that she didn't know herself. She only knew how to do the stuff, and she just did it because she knew she loved us. She wanted us to have everything. But when I got with Derek, I didn't know how to be a wife. Like, I didn't know what that meant. And so I fought him tooth and nail all the time. Even when we were together, we had stupid arguments that I would create because I didn't know how to express my feelings correctly. I didn't know how to speak to him. I was such a... I was a kid that was by myself all the time. Like I was the kid that people would look and see in the corner by themselves.
Right.
I never had friends. I never knew how to relate to people until I got to high school, and then life changed a little bit. And then I became popular, and I don't know why, because I didn't do anything extravagant, but just have muscles. And so in that sense, I kind of didn't want to receive that kind of attention. I didn't like it. But then yet I dealt with it. So when me and Derek were together, it was kind of like I get this guy who has the attention for me, and he loves the way I look. He loves me for me, and it wasn't for my body, but he loved me for me. And he was trying to teach me that love was real, that men can love you for who you are and not what you have.
Yeah. And you said something powerful, because I spent so many years trying to worry about how I look, how I dressed, my weight and everything like that, and I ended up marrying a man that kept calling me beautiful. I was like, yo, this dude is sick. Something's wrong with him. He's like, good morning, beautiful. I'm like, what are you looking at? Don't you see this roll? Don't you see like my cheeks are too big and I'm not this or I'm not that? And he was like, oh, there goes my beautiful wife. What is wrong with this dude? Something is wrong with him. And that's what he would say, beautiful. And that's what he calls me, beautiful. So I know for a fact when he's mad at me, Marsha. Oh, somebody got an attitude, huh? I said, what happened? He goes to the government. Exactly.
He didn't call you by name.
He don't call me. So when he called, he's like, yes, beautiful. How's your day, beautiful? When he's mad, Marsha, do you mind doing? It's like, Marsha? Oh no. Somebody need to talk to me or something. My name is not Marsha. Boo. Because he got me conditioned to that, and so I know he's upset. So let's try and work this thing out. And he won't talk to me. I got to give him about 3 days before he comes back, and then I'll be like, "Hey, baby."
It was difficult for me at first just to even accept his compliments. To him, I was this beautiful girl that he fell in love with. He always says he fell in love with my legs, but okay, we'll leave it at that. But but it's really when I met Derek, I was very thin. I was a size 2. I was like kind of like Cece, but I was very muscular. So he always looked at me. He never looked at my body. Like to him, it was always me, my heart. Where we came together. So when we broke up for that short time, it broke my heart. And during that brokenness of my life is where I got raped. And so because I experienced a rape, it became more difficult to me to look at him and say, hey, I got pregnant because of it, and I don't know what to do with this. And so he was like, I don't care. It's mine. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
So he was teaching me that, but my fear of people talking about me or talking, because you care about what people say when you're young. You care about what people are going to say about you. And so I didn't want to be talked about in that way, so I had an abortion. Which led me to make a mistake there, because then I felt like God could never forgive me for that. I just killed a life, and he's not going to forgive me, and I'm going to be cursed for the rest of my life. And so I felt that for a long time. So what happened was, a month later, I got pregnant for my son. And so it didn't fill the void of the child that I let go of.
Yeah, and that's another.
It didn't.
Society is like making it okay that, you know, you get pregnant, and if it's not convenient for you, you just get rid of it. And they don't realize that the psychological pain that a woman goes through once you made a decision to terminate a life, it's horrific. You know, you've gone through it. I don't know about Jazz. All three of us have gone through it, and now I feel as though God is punishing me because I had that abortion, because now I wanted to have children with my husband, and it was easy as long as I was in sin. But now I'm in a covenant relationship and nothing is happening. And every day the enemy beats me down and tells me that you already had life. God already rationed out how many children you were supposed to have, and now you lost it, and so you don't get another chance at it. So how many women are out there right now beating up themselves because they made a mistake because of lack of understanding
and fear?
Yes, and fear.
Absolutely.
And we serve a great and mighty God that even though we make dumb choices because of lack of knowledge, he still is going to love us. And I still fight with it every single day, you know, but a lot of women out there are unfortunately struggling, and they're saying like, oh, God would never love me to give me another child.
And the hard thing for me was that after I was raped, I always felt like I did something to get that guy to do that, and then you get the looks. It's like, oh yeah, the minute she left there, she just started sleeping with other people. And it wasn't the case. It was just that I went to a place that I shouldn't have gone to where I didn't drink, because I don't drink. I'm not a person to get drunk. But I went with a friend and with a cousin to go see a game, and I ended up waking up in a hotel room, and I didn't know how I got there.
Wow.
And I walked 20 miles to my aunt's house.
Wow.
And it was the most gruesome. I felt shame. I felt dirty. I wanted to take a bath so bad to wash it off. And the experience of saying, I'm ashamed. I did this to myself. I put myself in this position. And then, to see that I didn't want to tell people that I was raped. I didn't. I felt so much shame. So when I realized I wasn't getting my period, I was like, oh my God, what happened? And then to get raped again. And then that was and now I don't know. Did I do something? Did I make them think that it was okay for them to do that? And then, then you become fearful, because when you get into that kind of place, you really don't know how to react. So you just let it happen, because you don't know how to fight. And I know I'm skilled to fight. I mean, I could have done something to this guy, but I was so frozen with fear, I just let it happen. And so when I said, God, maybe I need to have this baby so something can love me. I want to be loved. I don't know what that is. And I remember God said, pick up the phone and call him. I said, he's not going to want me. I'm pregnant. He's not going to want me now. And God made it so that my sister-in-law during that time, my brother's first wife, to pick up that phone and call him, and he ran to the phone. And I told him, I said, I'm pregnant. And he said, I don't care. I want you back. And he was willing to take it. He didn't care what anybody else said, but I did. I cared about what people said. And then I didn't want people to label him and say, oh, you were that girl, she slept with somebody else, and you taking responsibility for that baby, and so on. And then, I had people coming to me and telling me, oh, you should have an abortion. That's not, that's not right for you to have right now. You just gotta, try to get your life together and try to do what you need to do for your life. And so I had all these fears, and I made this decision. I remember laying on that, what I call a slab, and sitting there and looking at it and saying, and hearing the Spirit of God said, run, get out of there. And I just didn't. I stood.
Wow.
When I had, I think it was in my, I was in my late 20s. I don't even remember how old I was when I had my abortion. The reason why my marriage failed because I had an affair in my marriage, and to make myself feel like oh, it's gonna be fine. I'm not supposed to be in that marriage. I had a relationship with that person. Though we were together for 4 years with that person, I got pregnant in that relationship, and I felt such shame because I felt like everyone's gonna look at this baby as a byproduct of infidelity, and so I was like, I just like I can't have this child right now. I can't have this child right now, and I went back and forth, and I was in the clinic waiting to get an abortion, and like pre-testing is like they'll do like a HIV test and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And in the HIV test, the guy is administering a AIDS test, and he's like, "What are you doing here? You're not like these other girls. Get up and leave." And I didn't leave, and I lived with that burden for so long that the same thing that you thought, the same thing that I'm never gonna have a child because it took. I'm gonna be 38 in January, and Nehemiah's 2. And I couldn't, and for all that time, I thought I could never get pregnant. Nothing. And I thought, well, that's my punishment. Yeah. I'm never gonna have a child. Even though meeting Stephen and praying and being in covenant and getting married, I couldn't get pregnant. And then I thought, well, I guess that's my lot in life. That's for that mistake. And and then Nehemiah came. And in that part of when this is it, I'm just gonna love my husband, and that's all I have left in life. But still, I'm 38 years old. I'm expecting my second. I'm gonna be 38. Expecting my second child. I still live with that hurt. I can still think of that day, and I'm thinking, man, I should have never.
Yeah.
Man, I should have turned around
all the time.
I should have turned. I should have left.
Yeah.
Why did I stay? So what? I should have stayed. I should have not stayed. I should have left. Why did I do it? Why did it? And I can go back and recently, I got, into a discussion with someone, and they threw that in my face. That, that abortion, that abortion in my face, and man, it was like a wound that it opened up again, and I was just like, okay, Lord, I know it's past it, but it's still, you can think about who that child could have been, or what they would have been, or what God had planned for them. And I'm just like, you can still go back and feel that kind of hurt in that.
Yeah, I do.
It's hard.
It took me a long time to even say I had an abortion.
Oh, I didn't tell people.
It was so hard for me because I can hear God tell me that day, you are going to be blessed beyond measure. Just stay still. And I was like, I can't. I can't. And I remember going into that clinic. I remember sitting there and saying, God, forgive me. I know I'm doing something wrong. Forgive me. And I kept saying, God will never forgive me for this. And I remember I had my daughter after Chris and Aaron were born. I had a little girl, and I was pregnant from her, and that was Cyan. And I didn't know it was a girl, but then when I found out it was, I kept it from him because I didn't want him to know, hey, you're finally going to get your girl. And then I finally told him, when God said to me, I've taken her, she's coming home. I was like, no, you won't do that to me, Lord, no way. So when I gave birth to my daughter, Cyan, and she was stillborn, I couldn't deal with it. I felt like that. I got this because I gave away I had that abortion and God punished me with my third child. I was punished.
And you see what the enemy does to us? It makes us think that, oh yeah, God, that's not him at all. It's our own insecurities that cause us to feel this way, you know. And you know, you all had different scenarios, and with me, it's more about pleasing everybody. You know, what would everybody say because I'm an unwed teenage mother? You know, and I was worried about what my family would think, and I made the decision to basically throw away my child because of quote unquote what my family would think, you know. And later on, I still got bashed. You know, I still got bashed for it. So I was almost like quote unquote, darn if I did or darn if I don't. I would have said another word, but you know, we want to keep it PG-13 for the children. But yeah, either way, you couldn't win for losing, you know. And so eventually I did get pregnant with my son, but that was the only child that I had. And I was like, after that, God said, okay, I still love you, but I'm going to let you have another child. But then the enemy kept playing in my head. I was like, look, you got your quota, you won't get any more. But God is still good because I'm still believing, and he gave me grandchildren. And they're the most precious things in the world. I love them, I fiend for them, but they still do not fill that void of what me as a mother wanted. They're grandchildren, but they're not filling that void because I know in my heart God says that I should have been a mother to many more. So I mean, that's what I'm dealing with right now. And I'm praying after we get all this therapy right here. Chains gonna be breaking off. Jesus.
One of the things that I think God really helped me break out of those mindsets was I just rededicated myself to Christ, and I was in the altar, and I had my son was with me, and I threw myself before God, and I said, Lord, I don't know if I can go on, and you know, I wanted to know what it was like to raise a daughter. And I remember I was on my knees and I was in the bathroom and I was crying, and the Lord said there will be another. And I was like, I understand, but I still want the one that I lost. And he showed me a vision, and in the vision, it was a garden. And I saw two little girls, and they were saying, hi mommy, we're in your garden. And I saw them grab the hands of Jesus and walk off. And I saw two little girls. So I know that they're waiting for me. And so when that happened, I got up and I did what David did. I took off the sackcloth and I said, okay, God, I'm going to stand in your word. And on Derek's birthday, I found out Sienna was in my belly. So I had my little girl. And, you know, even though there was a struggle, Sienna's actually a miracle baby because my placenta shut down, so she wasn't being fed. So she went from 8 pounds to 4 pounds in a matter of 2 weeks. And so they had to induce my labor to get her out quick. But when she got out, she's healthy, tall, 20 years old. Think she all that in a bag of chips. But it was a struggle. And so, you know, through all of that, Derek was still trying to teach me that he loved me for who I was, and he was trying to teach me how to be a wife. And that was the struggle. But it took all of that for me to get to where I am today.
Why we need so much evidence? Why we need so much evidence as women to like, look, I already told Jesus I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting. Like, he whatever. I mean, you want to be? Sure, why not?
God gives us good men. God has given us good men.
He has, and we just
fight them.
We
so
fight
hard.
them. We're just feisty.
Yeah.
Feisty. Just want to fight them.
Because we want to make them into what we consider to be a good man. And we want to create them into
trying to
what
make
we
me
want.
into you want me to be.
Yes.
Exactly. Instead of accepting them
for who they are.
And that's what I
Same words
struggle
as
with, because you know, you should be like this. You're not you're not as tall and as wide as I needed you to be. You don't feel like a teddy bear. Why don't you feel like a teddy bear?
and it's like, you know, some men, you know that they're never giving you flowers or giving you anything,
Right.
and then you expect them to.
Yeah.
Did they give it to you when you were dating? No. So why are you expecting it now? You know, and it's weird because we're trying to make them into this Prince Charming that we grew up believing in,
Yeah.
and they're not. You know, they're their own individual person. But then yet we fight them because we want to be our own individual person,
True.
and we don't want them changing who we
But
are.
the thing
And
is, they're
I-
human. It's
Yes.
like you don't know what they want or what you want unless you ask them. Like I've learned this. If I want my husband to do a certain thing, I just tell him. And we think men are mind readers. We think they're supposed. Me and you are one.
Read my mind.
You read my
baby.
mind, baby. You know what I want. Tell me what I want. Tell me what I want. It's like, I don't know. You should know. We've been together for 6 years.
Like,
You should
when I-
know what I want.
Like when I'm getting ready for work, it's Steven, you know, he's a truck driver, so he's over the road. So when he comes home, I'm thinking like, you know, you should already know how to get into this rhythm of what's been going on. So when he's in the living room, either he's, you know, watching the news because he's a CNN buff or whatever. You should already know if I laid some clothes down in front of you.
Yeah.
Dress the baby. Dress the baby. And so I have to be like, can you dress the baby? Because I gotta leave in 15 minutes. And he's like, oh, okay. What I have to tell you, I put the clothes in front of you.
You expect them to be mind readers, know how to do everything. When you come home, like, you know when I walk in, give me 10 minutes, don't talk to me. You're supposed to know my rhythm. You're supposed to know my
Yeah.
pattern. Then you can sit next to me, and then we'll be all lovey-dovey, and I'll sit next to
Yes.
you and all this kind of stuff. But they're not mind readers, you
They're
know.
not, and
We
you
have
have
to
to
tell them what
accept
we
them.
want,
Yeah.
you know. Yes, I want you to clean my car once a month. Please do that for me, baby. And then don't let me have to tell you that. Instead of like, I get in my car and it's like, this dude did not see my car. And he's probably saying this chick ain't got no food on the stove.
Absolutely, but we at the end of the day, really, we do have good men that love us for who we are. I mean, I don't think I could be with anyone else that would love me the way
He don't
Derek
understand,
does.
and nobody else can understand my crazy
Yeah.
like
oh
Michael
no,
does.
Derek does.
Mike
Derek
was the only
understand
one
my
that can
crazy.
understand my crazy. My crazy go to a whole nother level. It's like, you sure you still want to be here? He's the only. I've learned that he is the only one that can understand my crazy. And I've been with different men and dated them. Not actually physically been.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother episode. But that's a different episode. I'm just saying, the ones that I've encountered
Yeah.
with, he's the only one that actually puts up with my crazy, and
Yeah,
I think that's
Derek
why
is
I
too.
love him
Yeah.
the way that I do.
Yeah, because Derek puts up with my crazy, and you know, and I tell my mom, I say, you know, I don't know why you made us such crazy Puerto Ricans, but we are, and so God had to grace me with someone that can deal with my crazy Puerto Rican, because I don't think anybody would. I think I would have
I
been
think I'm-
divorced 3 times.
I gotta think I have to scale down my crazy because I think I'm hitting his limits. He's like, you know what? This is too much. This is too much. I'm still holding on to him. I gotta take it away. He's like, you know what? You're hitting my crazy limit. I'm not gonna do this no more. So I'm gonna have to scale back my crazy. I'm gonna bring it down a notch.
That's funny. So next time that we come back, we are gonna talk about how our husbands deal with our crazy. And thanks for hanging out with us this week, guys.
Yes. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you next time. Make sure you tune in, share Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you. God bless.
God bless. Bye, everybody.